This week we visit two different coastal locations. We start at Tintagel, stay in a car park and take in the history and legend of the castle and tiptoe through Merlin's cave. At the other end of the camping scale we stay at an award-winning site with easy access to the most gorgeous, if challenging to get to, beach. But first, welcome to our channel. We are retired couple Kath and Sue and have been travelling in the UK and living in our motorhome for the last 2 years with our furry companions Archie and Fudge. This freedom has taken us to some epic spots with magnificent scenery, and there is of course more to come. Good morning. Well, today we're going somewhere really exciting. I hope it's going to be really exciting. We've been to this place before, but we couldn't actually get to what we would consider was the main attraction. So let's go and see what it is. We're at Tintagel and Fudge and I are off to see the castle now. We arrived here about an hour and a half ago and Sue's already been and had a look around. We have to do a tag team, of course, at the moment. One of us stays with Archie and the other goes off to see the castle. So it's my turn now, and we're staying in this car park, which and we're going to stay here tonight as well. It's for motorhomes or for cars and motorhomes. It's £5 all day, and then you can pay another £5 to stay overnight, or apparently you can go and eat in the King Arthur's Arms and stay for free. But of course, £5 is cheaper than a meal in the King Arthur's Arms. So that's what we're going to do tonight. In the meantime, we're going to go and enjoy this castle. This is the track to the castle, and they told me to stay left. Well, I'm currently in the upper courtyard of the rebuilt castle, rebuilt in the 13th century. And it was built on the grounds of what is thought to be a medieval castle that was built in the kind of 5th, 6th century. And legend and archaeology tend to suggest this was a place for royalty in that kind of early kind of medieval period. And actually, I didn't realise this until I got here. There's a real connection with King Arthur here, and that was because somebody from Cornwall wrote a book on kings and history of kings of Cornwall. And whether it's true or not, we don't know, but Mr. and Mrs. Mother and Father of King Arthur got their leg over here, apparently, and this is where King Arthur was conceived. And from here, you get these brilliant views of the bridge, which I'm about to cross. So what I've learned here is that Richard, the King of Cornwall's 13th century castle, had a natural land bridge between this part and the King's private quarters over there, which are now, of course, on an island. And then there was lots and lots of erosion that always happens on the coast, and the land bridge was finally collapsed and broke, so there was no access to the island. And then the bridge that is built now was built back in 2019, so we can now get access to the island again. Brilliant. Let's go. We're about halfway across the bridge now, and it's a bit windy up here. It's not actually too windy today, but you definitely feel the wind on this bridge. It's absolutely brilliant views all around now. Right, well, I wrongly promoted Richard. He was actually the Earl of Cornwall, not the King. But he was given his earldom by King Henry III for his 18th birthday. And he built the castle on this location. And I think he used to party here. Doesn't say that, but I'm going to use my imagination. he certainly entertained guests here. You can understand, can't you, when you see that coastline, why here would have been such a good place to have a settlement or a castle, or you could defend yourself pretty well from here. Some of these structures that you can see behind me here were found in the 1930s when there was an excavation of this site. And they can't be dated, but they're thought to be relevant to the Dark Ages. Now that is the period. Someone's coming to rescue me. Oh, wow. I hope you caught that. It was a Coast Guard helicopter. Anyway, where was I? So, thought to be dated to the Dark Ages, and the reason why they can't date them precisely is that was the period which was after the collapse of the Roman Empire, when, you know, those people in Britain who'd relied on the Romans and their, you know, sophisticated society were left kind of to their own devices, and there weren't many records from that period. So once again, demonstrates that there was settlement here back in possibly the 4th century. Well, we're descending the steep steps down to the beach because it's soon to be high tide, so we can actually get to the beach, and there's a cave at the bottom called Merlin's Cave. Actually stood here, you're out of the wind and the sun's out, and it actually feels quite warm. But I'm not looking forward to going down those steep steps ahead of me. Have a look at that. Not sure how hard it is to kind of grasp the steepness. Oh, I'm not sure how good this video is going to be because it's currently low tide. And in low tide, you can get right through from one end of the tunnel to the other. It's called Merlin's Cave, but it's actually a natural tunnel caused by erosion over many, many years. I know, it's easy for you, isn't it? Easy for your little feet. Well, that's it. We've now just got the long walk back up the steps, which are steep. You see, we've got to get all the way right back up there again. Well, I've found out I've been wrong again. It was Geoffrey, or Godfrey, Geoffrey I think, of this area that in the 12th century first wrote about King Arthur. And it wasn't Mr. and Mrs. King Arthur's parents getting the leg over. Apparently he was magically conceived at this location. Wow, pretty good, eh? So we've just come down those steps and oh my God, Look how steep they are. But I'll tell you what, the beach we've just landed on is gorgeous, and there's no wind here at all. Just so sheltered. You're bringing it to me? Oh no, you just keep digging around it.
Don't come in.
Well, I was coming down there's a bridle path up there, and I was just coming down there and a car came up, so I turned round like that just to check she was behind me, which of course she was, but the side of the road was mud and I slipped and I fell in front of the car. So it was very embarrassing, and he turned, look, and I've fallen on my elbow.
Oh.
And my bum.
Oh, I can see the mud on your jacket.
And he pulled up and said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, it's just my pride." But I'm very wet and muddy. I managed all those steps. I found a gorgeous beach.
I know, I've seen it.
Have you? And I managed all the steps down and all the steps back up, and then I got onto a tarmac road and I fell over.
Well, that's not unlike you.
So we're both muddy this time.
Oh, she's not too bad, eh, Fudgy?
She's been running around on the beach.
I know, I saw her. You're not too bad, are you, sweetie? Eh?
Well, good morning, everyone. Now we are on an award-winning campsite, which is more than we would normally pay for a campsite this time of year, because it's costing us about £34 a night, but it's got laundry facilities and our washing bag is overflowing. I think we'll probably end up doing about 3 washes whilst we're here, so Sue's off doing that at the moment. I found yesterday an absolutely beautiful beach, as you will have seen hopefully already, and well, I'm going to go there again today and see if I can get the drone up in the air. So a beautiful day to get the drone up, and hopefully I'll be able to do it some justice. So the reason I haven't brought Fudge is she doesn't like the drone, and I don't have to worry about her as we clamber down that cliffside. Well, I'm heading down the steep steps, and I don't know how easy it is for you to get a sense of how steep these steps are, but it really is like walking down a cliff edge. And there is a handrail most of the way, and I'm telling you what, I am definitely making the most of it. If you look ahead of me now, it is a sheer rock face, and you've got these man-made concrete steps that take you down. I'm keeping a very, very close eye on my feet at the moment and being careful. I'm not sure what perspective the camera will give you. I'm sure it's not going to be quite as utterly terrifying as it is walking down. And I'll put the camera down now whilst I change hands. Now there's signs everywhere saying take your rubbish home with you, and that is rubbish that's been found on this beach, and might be wondering why it's been left kind of wrapped up in that green. And it's in order, it's been done by the locals who've picked the litter up, and it's been left there covered over with the green netting so that they can send a boat in and take it all away by boat. And it's quite a big stack, isn't it? So if you come to a beautiful place like this, let's leave it beautiful, shall we? This really is something special, isn't it? When you've got the sun, which, you know, we're in the shade here, but the sun just catching that mound overhead. It's gorgeous. Well, as the sun is setting behind the land over there, it's not setting, it doesn't set for probably another hour or so, but it's definitely going down behind these cliffs. What idyllic setting to sit and count your blessings. It's a wonderful place. I'm just gathering myself now, ready for that hike. Up the 200 and, well, depending on who you believe, there's either 220 or 240 steps to the top of that cliff. I made it up the steps. Oh my goodness. My calves and my quads are telling me about it. Oh, it's worth it though, absolutely worth it. Spectacular. What a day. I'm getting in Sue's way. She's making dinner. Anyway.
You're always getting in my way.
Anyway, I just wanted to say I hope you've enjoyed our last two coastal locations. We certainly did. And we have moved on today, and we've moved on to a cracking little park up that Sue's found for us. It really is lovely. But we have to end this video here, otherwise I'll just go on and on and on. So we're going to have to save that for next week. Make sure you come back and watch us, and obviously like, subscribe and all that stuff. But we will see you next time. Stop.